Coming up with a new edition of the Little Rickert Show. We're going to talk a little Flyers hockey as their season came to an end the other night. We'll talk a little bit of Phillies, and I'm going to talk some more Penn State. Another uh, story where the media failed to do their homework uh, comes about, uh, but with a different twist too. And a little bit more. So, without further ado, your host, Lowell Rickert. Good evening, sports fans. This is Lowell Rickert, and welcome to the Lowell Rickert Show. We got stuff to go over from the past couple of days. We got Flyers hockey to go over. The playoffs, they got eliminated by the Rangers, which in turn beat the Pens in Game 1 of the Eastern semifinals. They won in overtime 3-2 tonight. We'll talk about Game 7, and we'll talk about what the Flyers have to do in the offseason to improve their team. Goalie is not one of them, so that's a hint. So, Phillies, 500 April, not bad. I'll take it for April, but they start off May not too well. Lost 5-3 tonight to the Nationals. Despite getting 3 runs right off the bat in the first inning for Cliff Lee, the front end of the bullpen didn't do their job, so they got to improve on that. And we'll talk Penn State. So, without further ado, let's go to the Flyers. They lost a tough one, 2-1, which ended their season. Lost 4 games to 3 after a dominating Game 6. You would think they'd be able to carry over the effort for Game 7. The first period they played very well, even nothing. But the second period just killed them. Rangers were more aggressive. They're pretty much the more physical team the whole series, and dominated. Claude Giroux, he's supposed to be one of the top. He's a top 5, top 10 player in the league, and it didn't show in the series with the Rangers. They shut him down pretty well. Steve Mason was just Emery did a very good job replacing Emery. Replacing Mason the first 2 games. He had came out that he had a concussion. That's why he didn't play for over 2 weeks. But when he came back, he's phenomenal. He kept the Flyers in it. Those games could have been easily blowouts. So he's going to be he's the Flyers goalie for the next 10, 15 years, I believe. Problem with what needs to be addressed in the offseason is on defense. They need some defensemen badly. Mark Streit and McDonald very well. They played very well and should remain a Flyer. But they need to add more defensemen. They are flat out terrible in the Rangers series. Maybe add a little more depth, get some more depth in the forwards. Question marks Kimmo Timonen. I don't think he's gonna. If he stays with the Flyers, he ain't gonna get the major minutes anymore. I think he was exposed this series, so they may need to release him and find a replacement. But Drew needs if he's a top 10 player in the league, he needs to step up big time next year. They cannot get off to the slow start next year like they did this year. There are pieces there to be a cup contender. So, but they need to address the defensemen. Free agent. I don't know who the free agents are or what the cap number for the Flyers, but they need to address the defense for sure. Vinny LeCavalier did. I would keep him for another year. He played decent for the most part. Wayne Simmons, he was flat out phenomenal. like his game. Ronaldo needs the. I like his aggressiveness, but he needs to tone it down just a tad. He takes some dumb penalties at times, but for the most part, the players are there to win a cup. They just need to address the defense, and maybe if they can add a couple forwards, that's all they would need. Um, I'm taking Boston, Chicago to go to the Cup final based on what I saw in the first round of the playoffs. Boston lost a tough one in double overtime last night, but they play tomorrow, and hopefully they get the split. So uh, that's enough of that. Let's go to talk a little Phillies here. Again, they lost tonight 5-3, despite giving Cliffley a 3-0 lead on a Marlon Byrd 3-run homer in the first. Lee was he. It wasn't a bad outing, but it could have been a little better. But the front end of the bullpen, Diekman again didn't do a good job. Mike Adams, those two guys really didn't step up for Cliff Lee tonight. Utley had an error which helped to a run. Uh, it wasn't a bad game by the Phillies, but it wasn't a well played game overall tonight. AJ Burnett goes tomorrow night for the Phillies, and Sunday a good pitching matchup again. Cole Hamels against Gio Gonzalez, so that should be a good one. So they fought a game under 500. They are 13-14 now, but they finished April 500, and I'm not complaining. They needed to be around like you would normally want to be around 500 in April. You don't want to be too far under 500 and fall too far back because you get you can get in trouble. Uh, like last year and the last couple years where the Phillies just had horrendous Aprils, and that doesn't help. So they can be around 500. They've been a good second half team. So they can, even May, if they can stick around 500 through May, they're in good shape. But they got to get the bullpen fixed. Let's see, other stuff going on. I don't know of any. Basketball, I haven't watched much of the NBA, but the playoffs have been phenomenal. Almost all the playoff series are going 7 games. So I'm probably gonna have to start watching some NBA ball. So we're gonna take a little time out here, and we're gonna address Penn State next. So we'll be right. We're gonna be right back. So we're gonna take a little time out. We'll be right back. This is the Low Record Show, the Low Record Network. We'll see you in a couple minutes.